I'm in Shenandoah National Park at the South River Overlook. This is mile marker 62.5. This is the overlook right here. That's a look to the east. A little bit hazy up here this morning. That's Skyline Drive heading north, and right up there about 100 yards to the left is the Dry Run Fireroad. So I'm planning to hike that down the west side of the Blue Ridge today. The elevation here, it's not a real long hike. I think it's only about maybe 4 or 5 miles round trip, but the hike is supposed to take us past an area known as the Lost Cliffs, and then there may be a waterfall down there, but my understanding is it's not on the trail, so depending on how bad the bushwhacking conditions are, maybe we can go check that out. The elevation here at this overlook is 2965. Okay, here's the fire road heading down the west side of the Blue Ridge, and there's the parking area right there. So if you park there at the overlook, South River Overlook, just come up here about 100 yards and turn left, and you'll see the fire road. So let's get started. I'm 7/10 of a mile into my hike. There's where I came from, down the side of the mountain. And the elevation here is 2,700 feet. And this area here must be the area that they call the Lost Cliffs. Pretty much straight up. There's the fire road heading on down the side of the mountain. That's where I'm going to keep going. But if you come down here, it's only 7/10 of a mile. And up here at the upper side of the fire road, looks like if you scramble up those rocks there a ways, you can maybe make it up to the top. So there's your first attraction along this road. And I'm going to keep heading down this way looking for the waterfalls. We got rain last night, so even though this is called Dry Run, there might be some water in it. We'll see when we get there. Okay, I'm about another 1/10 of a mile down the fire road. Here's where I came from. And right here is definitely a little trail heading up. I guess this is a common way that people use to get up there to the Lost Cliffs. So if you come down from Skyline Drive, if you come past the cliffs just a little ways, and then look for this little side trail, you'll see it going up, and it takes you around to the left side of the cliffs. I'm 1.3 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2560, and this is where the fire road crosses Dry Run. It's looking upstream. There's the fire road where I came from, down the side of the mountain. And there's the headwaters of Dry Run heading downstream. So we're going to continue here. There's a sharp bend in the road here. This is where the mountain folds back on itself, which is why this little canyon is here. So we're going to head on further down the side of the mountain. And this road, fire road now, is going to run parallel to Dry Run for a while. And when I get down here a little further, I'm going to look for maybe a little bushwhack trail where people before me have bushwhacked their way to the falls that are supposed to be down here. So we'll see what happens when we get down there. Okay, I'm at the park boundary. Exactly 2 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 2280, so still pretty high up on the mountain. Here's where I came from, down here. Here's the chain across the fire road. That tree over there's got some red blazing on it for the park boundary. Some note, and then this is private property downhill here. That sign over there says, "Please do not drive on road when wet." There's a no trespassing, hunting or fishing. There's the private road continuing on down the side of the mountain, the west side. Here's another sign, "Please do not drive on road when wet," and a telephone number. So I'm going to turn around and head back up. On my way down here, I did not see any side trails heading down to Dry Run Falls, so I either missed it or there isn't one. And I'm not exactly sure where the falls are, to tell you the truth. But I could sit here on this rock and eat my lunch, but it's only about 11:30. So I think what I'm going to do instead is head on back up, and hopefully I can find a place up there along Dry Run somewhere. Hopefully I can find the falls, or at a minimum maybe I can find a place to sit down on some rocks and eat lunch up there a little ways. I know, that's a poor substitute for a waterfall. That's not the waterfall. Just trying to give you a feel for the for Dry Run Creek here. I'm standing up on the fire road. Here's the map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Elkton East 1997. and I hiked the Dry Run Falls Fire Road. Here's Skyline Drive. You enter the park at Swift Run Gap. That's where US 33 comes across the Blue Ridge Mountains. And from the park entrance up to the South River overlook here is only about maybe 3 miles. When you come up from the south, you pull off to the right. The overlook pulls you off to the right, okay? And then you walk north on Skyline Drive, maybe just 100 yards, until you'll see on the left-hand side of the road, you'll see where the fire road crosses Skyline Drive. Okay, and on this side of on the west side, it's called Dry Run Falls Fire Road. So, and it's downhill all the way to the park boundary. So you start here and you hike down. I think this was about 6/10 of a mile or 7/10 of a mile down the road. When you look off to the right, this is the area that they call the Lost Cliffs. It's some pretty sheer cliffs, but it looks like if you kind of go around either to the right or to the left, you can work your way up to the top of the cliffs. I didn't bother to do that. Okay, so then you continue on down the road. Right here in the video, this is where a canyon starts. The mountain folds back in on itself right here, and this is where these are the headwaters of Dry Run Falls right here. This is where in the videos I showed where the road crosses the headwaters of Dry Run Falls. Now from here down to here, the fire road is, I don't know, maybe 50 feet higher in elevation than Dry Run is, but it follows along parallel to it. So for this portion of your hike, you'll be able to hear, and every once in a while you'll be able to see Dry Run Falls. Now I didn't notice any trails veering off to the left to come down here. Here's where the Geologic Survey shows the falls are located, right here at the beginning of this bend. But I looked for it. I didn't see it, so I didn't bother bushwhacking down there. So then I just followed this all the way down here to the boundary of the park. Okay, and then back up the same way I came. It's a fairly short hike. It's around 4 miles round trip, and with not a huge amount of elevation gain. So that was the hike for today.